Lawyers Project is one of the many projects at the Center on Children in the Law focused on improving outcomes for youth in foster care. The primary focus is to improve outcomes for lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, and questioning youth, LGBTQ. As a team, the three of us work together to talk to judges and lawyers and youth themselves and other professionals to do whatever it takes in particular communities and across the country to improve the outcomes.
One of the most important things that we try and stress with judges and attorneys is awareness that LGBTQ youth are in state care. So between 5 and 10% of youth in state custody identify as LGBT, which means that there are countless more that haven't actually identified. Another important thing about what we've heard from youth is their experiences. They experience a lot of harassment and discrimination in group homes and in foster homes. A lot of the youth are placed in faith-based homes, and sometimes they're told that they're going to hell. They're not allowed to dress and groom as they prefer. In the schools, if there's not sort of a strong anti-discrimination policies, they get bullied in the schools, sometimes both by teachers as well as their peers. So those are some of the experiences that youth have while they are in foster care.
So some of the positives is that we know that a lot of the professionals we work with want kids to be safe. And when we have the opportunity to train, to offer technical assistance, to join with them in task forces, usually their policies and their practices immediately begin to change. One youth we spoke to talked about his foster mother, who at first, when he had come out, she was confused. She said that it was something she wasn't comfortable with, but she asked more questions. She told him that she didn't want to make any assumptions about how she was supposed to treat him or what she was supposed to do based on her own teaching or things she may have learned, but she wanted to do what was right and what was safe and what would make sure that he would be safe. And this is what we see a lot of when we go and travel and do our trainings and when we work with groups and task forces. Once they have the information, once they know what some of the practices are, they're going to make sure these kids feel safe, that they're physically safe, and that their emotional well-being is secure. This is usually what they want to do.
Really important that attorneys use appropriate language. So instead of asking a young boy, do you have a girlfriend, as they're kind of establishing a rapport, that they talk about, are there any special people in your life? So language, what we've learned, is really important for children in order for them to open up and understand that attorneys are affirming. So one of the main things is creating this safe environment by the attorney for the youth, so the youth can feel comfortable coming out and disclosing some pretty personal things.
Right. Another thing that goes along with the language is having attorneys and judges set a tone, an environment that's safe. So hanging posters or signs that a youth might notice that's call it a safe zone, make it somewhere that a youth knows that the adults that are involved really care about them and are non-judgmental.
I think when they do that, it should also extend to the courtroom. Judges have a responsibility to make sure that their courtroom is a welcoming and safe environment. So that includes court personnel like clerks, the other lawyers, social workers or CASAs or GALs, making sure that if there are comments that are made that don't support the youth, or if there's just any sort of confusion or sharing of myths or saying derogatory things, there's the responsibility of the judge in that courtroom and any of the officers of the court to make sure that they are redirecting those behaviors so that those environments are inclusive for not just the young people, but anyone else in the courtroom who may identify as lesbian, gay, bisexual, or transgender.
And one of the things that we constantly talk about, our video, thekidsareListening.org, talks about, is that what's good for LGBT kids is also good for all of the kids. So a safe environment where kids aren't made fun of, aren't bullied, whether it be in the lawyer's office, in the courtroom, in the group home, is also a safe place for all of the youth that don't identify as LGBT, and we think that's really important.
One of the things that really showed to us that our project was making a difference was in Jefferson Parish, Louisiana. We started a task force and we brought together a lot of different people within the child welfare profession, attorneys, judges, social workers, educators, and they as a group really worked together to efforts to improve things for LGBTQ youth in their parish. And what was really exciting was that the Court Improvement Project director was involved, and because of the work that was done sort of on the local level, they were able to take it statewide, and it's currently a statewide project to address the needs of LGBTQ youth in Louisiana.
Another very exciting thing that's happened in the last couple of years is that the current administration has made the well-being and improving outcomes of LGBTQ a high priority. And most recently, Andrea and I had the opportunity to work with Commissioner Brian Samuels and 4 different states, the leaders of 4 states' child welfare and court systems, to look at how those states could improve outcomes for LGBTQ kids. And we see a real future in the individual state work, and we're very excited about that.
There's nothing more rewarding than hearing from the young people themselves, and we had one young transgender female share with us that just having us bring together a group of people in her community and seeing those people work together to make life better for her, for the people she knew in her community who had similar experiences, was a really rewarding and positive experience for her, and it definitely motivates us to keep working, and it lets us know that the work we do isn't in vain.